Natty the Panda asked, "Are there any tips for a new player to just remember what each thing does? I'm playing a few games against myself before playing a game against people, and I keep having to go like, what does Melter do again? What is anti-vehicle?"
So some of it is like you can write down a cheat sheet. Like it sounds like weapon keywords is kind of the thing that you're tripped up on. If you grab out of like the PDF, if you just grab the weapon keywords section, which is like 2 pages, and just like print them out, and you can just like have them in front of you when you play a game, that will probably help quite a bit. This is a cool part about miniature games, is that all of those abilities, they are thematic for a reason, right? And part of that is because it helps you remember what they do. So in Space Marine 1, and actually same in Space Marine 2, and all the Space Marine video games, I don't know if this is entirely canonical, but the way that they treat a melta-gun is like a shotgun, where if you shoot at something from close up, it shoots a big spray, and when you shoot the closer thing, it does more damage because more of the spray hits the target. So it's easy to remember on the tabletop that a melta weapon shoots like a shotgun. If it shoots something that's near you, it does more damage. Now exactly what those mechanics are, it's less important because it's much easier to remember the mechanic if you remember the thematic reason why. Heavy weapons? What's a heavy weapon? Oh, it's a weapon that's hard to carry around. So it's better to use a heavy weapon when I'm not moving and I don't have to schlepp it around. Lance. What does a lance do? Well, a lance is a big, long, pokey stick that you use when you're on a horseback to charge people. Oh, so it's better when I charge. So there's a reason that the names are thematic, because it works like a mnemonic device to help you remember what they do. One thing as well that you'll find, and the game is slowly moving away from this, which is a little disconcerting, but to be fair, I think it makes the game better once you are more used to it. One thing that you'll find is that like weapons or like unit profiles will have the same stats across factions. Usually these are, there's sort of some colloquialisms that players use. Things like, light infantry, which is like a toughness 3 guy, medium infantry, which is like a space marine, heavy infantry, which is like a terminator, 3 wounds with a good save. For the most part, every regular space marine that stands on the ground is like move 6, toughness 4 with a 3+ save, 2, maybe 3 wounds if they're on a 40 mil base, generally speaking. And that's the case for like 99% of regular space marines, is that all of their stats are the same. Bolters, basically regardless of the bolter that you're looking at, is going to be ranged. If it's like a bolter held by a regular guy, it's probably 2 shots, range 24, strength 4, AP 0, or AP 1, 1 damage. Those are almost always the same across the entire board, regardless of what you're looking at. Sometimes they get an AP bonus, sometimes they get an extra damage or devastating wounds, but it's much easier to remember once you start to kind of internalize those like consistencies across the entirety of the game. So look for places where stat lines are similar and start remembering those. We used to call these guys Marine equivalents because they were T4, 3+ save, 2 wounds. It's a little like weirder now because there's a lot of little adjustments to the profiles, but that's generally speaking going to be the same across the whole board. Now from there, the thing you can do is start remembering what the differences between them are. So the purple ones, the Emperor's Children ones, are all about moving fast and getting into melee, so they hit +1 speed, versus every other incarnation of this profile, which is speed 6. But, for example, like the Khorne ones are good at hitting hard, so their weapons are +1 strength, generally speaking. So it's from once you start to recognize the patterns in weapon and unit profiles, it becomes easier to remember the weapons by their differences rather than their effects. So like, oh, a bolter is strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. A bolt rifle is different from a bolter because it has 1 AP. And now you remember both what a bolter does and what a bolt rifle does. That's generally how I found the best way to remember things to work. And then if you can rationalize that based on kind of like the lore, essentially, it helps you remember even further. Why is a bolt rifle +1 AP over a bolter? Well, rifles usually use larger cartridges that travel faster, so they're better at armor piercing. Oh, okay, so I'm +1 AP over my regular bolter. That makes sense, and now you remember. Wahapedia also helps. Yeah, having quick references helps. Wahapedia is good for core rule stuff. Like I always have 39k Pro. I always have up as well. So this is much easier to navigate because it's faster than Wahapedia, although it like misses a bunch of shit. We just used it on stream and I was using it for reference and it left a part of a detachment ability out. It's like great. It is what it is. The other cool thing about Wahapedia versus the core rules PDF is that Wahapedia has all the rules in a page and it's searchable. So you can be like, what does precision do? Oh, I found it. Ta-da! That helps a lot. And you get to look at these women with their lingerie on, apparently. Good stuff. Yeah, also getting games in for sure. Don't let me convince you that like getting games isn't the gold standard, definitely. I hope that helps. I feel like that was a very long explanation for what you were looking for, but I hope that that helps sort of elucidate things a little bit. But also, welcome to the game.